Hi, my name is Dr. Abraham Grosswasser. I've been straight edge for 18 years. I've been drug-free my whole life. I'm a chiropractor, I'm a husband, and I'm committed to big things in life, and one of the things that's really allowed me to achieve a lot of my goals is not having, a lot of things stand in my way. And, looking at my own family's history of alcohol and drug abuse, and looking also at a lot of my friends and the decisions they've made and where it led them, I feel like I made a choice that really impacted my life in a positive way and also allowed me to achieve the goals I wanted to in spades. I've lived all over the country on the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast. I've lived in Europe, and hardcore and straight edge have given me an opportunity in playing in bands and things to also travel even beyond the cities that I've lived in. And also, at different times in my life, I moved to new places, didn't know very many people, and just being in straight edge and being into hardcore and playing shows and going to shows and meeting new people, it's allowed me to make a community of friends that I would have never had, without something like that to tie a bunch of people together, who might not have the same ideals or the same everything, the same ethics or any of that stuff, but just, have one thing in common that becomes a common tie that's, brings people together across the world.
My name is Ryan Gore. I'm 19 years old. I started smoking weed and drinking a little alcohol a little while ago, and then I just stopped and realized that if I stop doing that, I can do better in life and go farther and reach my goals a little bit higher. Found out that Toby was doing this for a good cause, prevent kids from doing drugs and alcohol and getting their life motivated and having a good time with it without any drugs. He's changed my life, I like to say, for the better by me not doing any drugs and hearing about what he's doing, making a good cause out of it. So I've stopped smoking and drinking and realized how much better my life would be without it.
My name is Bradley Rouse. I'm 19. I go to school at Pierce College, and I run a radio station. I run a station that plays pop punk, rock and roll kind of music that people would listen to. A lot of people that like the One Life, One Chance. I follow One Life, One Chance. Actually saw a post on this show. I bought tickets as soon as I found out. I didn't find out right away, but I bought tickets because I wanted to help out Toby with his cause. Like, I know back when I was a kid, the people that came to our schools talking about not doing drugs, staying positive about everything, were boy bands, Christian boy bands that were basically paid to lie, or not lie, but basically talk how they don't feel. Toby's real. Toby's telling everybody how to do this. Well, One Life, One Chance is definitely a positive influence for anybody who's involved with it. It does show an example of somebody that can live by that life and proves that it does work for some people. It can work for you as long as you try it out. I have been influenced. I know that I have been hanging out with the wrong crowd about a couple years ago, and before I was against that, and then I let myself go, and then I realized by listening to music that helped support me that that stuff was not needed in my life. It was something that was something bad for me. So then I decided, actually a couple of years ago, I started listening to H2O for the first time and listening to the lyrics, and they helped me a lot. And then now, 2 years later, I found out about One Life, One Chance, and I look to support it 100%.
My name is Tim, and got interested in hardcore and punk when I was really young. I'm 24 now. Basically, growing up in a small town, hardcore and punk got me out of that small town mindset of I had to follow what everybody else was doing, and it gave me a comfortable place in my life. Straight edge followed after that, and basically just got me to a straightforward way of thinking and got me into college and got me after college, kept me on a straight path to doing what I do and getting a full-time job doing something that I love in the music business. So in the town that I grew up in, a lot of people got addicted to alcohol or addicted to drugs of any sort, and it kind of got them to the point where they got in bad situations, might have gone off to jail or might have gone, just made bad choices and everything, and it kind of, I've seen a lot of friends kind of go down really quick because of making those bad choices. I mean, we're talking when I was like 14 though, so being straight edge since I was 14 has kept me pretty well grounded on everything.
My name is Camille from San Diego, California, and I've been straight edge since I was 14. before I even knew what straight edge was, I kind of always wanted to live my life sober and clean because I've seen a lot of friends and family fall victim to the perils of alcohol and drug abuse. It wasn't until I started listening to a lot of straight edge bands like Minor Threat, Project X, and H2O until I really started getting into straight edge and really knowing what it was about. And so when I was 14, I claimed straight edge. I've gained a lot of friends and lost a lot of friends being straight edge, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. A really big problem in my family is definitely alcoholism definitely runs in the family. And I always knew, even from a very, very young age, that I did not want to follow in the footsteps of my family members who have died and who have suffered from, going into rehab and all these crazy things. I knew from a very, very young age that I didn't want to follow in those footsteps.
Hi, I'm Courtney Louise. I am 25 years old, and I have been straight edge since October 20th, 2003. I firmly believe I'm guilty by association. I've really loved H2O ever since I first heard them with New Found Glory in Las Vegas in 2003, and they inspired me to really actually listen to their lyrics instead of just hearing it. Being 25, I've gone off the path a few times as far as being a survivor. I stopped playing the role of a victim. I was a victim of child abuse and other unfortunate things in my childhood, and in order to live a life of PMA, which I've actually just started recently living in the past year, I've been able to become less stressed and actually live life. I've also lived the life of just living it. I never chose to be straight edge because I had a negative effect with alcohol. I did it because I have a very addictive personality, and I knew that if I drank or smoked or did any other drug, that I would go down a path of self-destructiveness. I knew that I needed to stop, and I needed to focus and have my own self-control, and being able to have a clear mind and a clear heart, like a clear slate without any drugs or alcohol clouding my judgment, I would be able to live a healthier lifestyle. I don't do it just to be in a crew or, have a lot of friends, because to be honest, I don't have a lot of straight edge friends because they think that their lifestyle sometimes is better than others, and it's a personal choice. It's all about respect, and that's the one thing that I really remember. It's respecting other people's choices, being there for them when they make mistakes, but other than that, just respecting them.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Lauren Hall from Orange County, California, and I got into straight edge and hardcore right before I got into high school. I did drugs and drank alcohol at an early age, and actually almost ended up dying from drinking and doing drugs. And my best friend introduced me to hardcore. Went to my first show, and it pretty much changed my life from there. I was going through some tough times when I was younger, and listening to H2O and other bands, I heard PMA, and I didn't really understand what it was at first, and all my friends that are already in hardcore would tell me to keep my head up when something was going wrong. And I still struggle today trying to keep the PMA and everything like that, but I try and tell myself every single day that days will get better, and keeping a positive mental attitude has definitely changed my life for the better.
Hi, I'm Kelly Kiso. I'm from Long Beach, California. Kind of got into straight edge around high school time. The thing for me was I just didn't want to, fit in with all the other kids. A lot of the kids I was growing up with, they got into the drugs, the alcohol, and all that stuff. I just didn't want to be like them, and it just wasn't for me. And I think in the long run, it really helped me out, staying positive and, just making sure I was present. And it just wasn't clouding my thinking or anything. And it really helped me out, choosing schools. And it also, it makes me a positive role model for my little brother, which I think is really important. A lot of kids growing up, they all got into that scene of, drugs and alcohol. And it kind of upset me. It kind of breaks my heart that, because they kind of do it just because everybody else is doing it. At least that's what I was seeing. It wouldn't really, I'm not saying that everybody has to be straight edge, you don't. It's just, I think clean living is very important, and just being positive, and I think it will help you out in the long run. It will help you achieve what you want, your goals. I think what Toby's doing is really awesome. I think, in my opinion, like hearing from a cop, like, oh, like don't do drugs, like don't do this, it's good. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong. But I feel like Toby brings a different aspect. Like it's like kids can really relate to him because he kind of has like a young soul. Kind of, I don't know him, but yeah, and I feel like they can relate to him in that way.
I'm Sean Bonner, and I found hardcore when I was about 12 years old, and was pretty self-destructive at the time. I had started smoking, drinking, all sorts of stuff long before that. Mostly just kind of disillusioned with kids and everything else that was going on. I didn't really think I fit in with anybody. I didn't really get the whole idea of trying to do what everybody else was doing to fit in, and just nothing was really working. And someone gave me a tape with some Gorilla Biscuits on it at the time, and I was listening to it, and it just sort of changed my whole perspective on everything. I realized that not only was there this whole world of people who not only said it was okay to sort of be yourself, but it was like encouraged, and offer this whole other approach. Didn't have to do what everybody else was doing. You could do your own thing and be positive with it. Because of this, I sort of totally changed my whole life around. I started a record company. I was in high school, put out a bunch of friends' bands, started printing t-shirts, started doing everything. Since then, I've never really had to have a real job. Hardcore and punk rock has sort of influenced my whole life ever since then, and everything I've done has been because of all that.
My name is Chad Singstock. I'm a photographer. I got my start shooting hardcore bands back in 1996-ish. So ever since I started going to hardcore shows, I've always noticed something about the hardcore scene that was different than, say, the punk scene, the rock scene, the rap scene. There's the message that they had was a lot more positive. It was about clean living, being there for your friends, your family. There's just something about it that just drew me in. I've been a hardcore fan ever since, and I've watched a lot of my friends kind of go the opposite way. Started drinking, partying, doing drugs, like all that kind of stuff, and I never wanted to be a part of that. I saw what they were doing, and I was just like, I don't want that. I feel like there's so much more to life than getting drunk. So I always try and live positively. I see whatever happens, bad things happen. That's life, and I just try and look at the positive side of it and go, tomorrow is another day, and you can just turn your life around, just accept it and move on.
I'm Kim Jones, and my decision to be straight edge stemmed from a love for my family. In September of 2006, I was at my best friend's birthday party, and my mom called me and told me that my brother had been hospitalized. His lungs had collapsed due to smoking too much, too many cigarettes, too much weed, just too much of everything, and not taking care of himself. And in the next 48 hours, Cameron's heart flatlined 3 times, and we almost lost him. And it was then that I decided that I never wanted my family to have to worry about me the way that I worried about him. And I mean, alcoholism runs really deep in our family, and I don't ever want to be close to even have a sip to be tempted to rely on alcohol or drugs for anything. God gave me this body to do great things, to be productive, and I don't want to dishonor that and misuse it. One life, one chance.
One life, one chance.
One life, one chance.
One life, one
One
chance.
life, one chance.
One life, one chance.
One life, one chance.
The more people who can hear the message about, you only get one life, one chance. You only get one life. You only one go for this whole thing, and might as well do something good with it. And I think that the more people hear that message, the better it is.
And fiction plays a role, confusing situations that I can't control. Heart of the matter, it beats with pride sometimes. Oh,